The billionaire who lost everything after discovering his wife's deadly betrayal. A heartbreaking tale of trust, jealousy, and revenge. They said Chief Darlington Osei was a man who had defeated poverty with his bare hands. In the streets of Ibadan, where he grew up, people whispered his name like a promise, a man who turned dust into gold. By 45, he owned half the properties along the Marina waterfront. His mansion stretched wide, its white pillars shining under the morning sun, servants moving quietly like shadows, cars parked in perfect symmetry. Yet for all his wealth, Darlington longed for peace, the kind that money could not buy. His wife, Clara, was beautiful beyond measure, elegant, educated, admired by every guest that crossed their gate. She moved with a grace that made people believe heaven had spent extra time sculpting her. To the outside world, they were the perfect couple. To those inside the house, silence had become the third partner in their marriage. Clara smiled at parties and posted cheerful photos, but in private she hardly spoke. She slept on the edge of the bed, her phone always face down. Darlington told himself it was stress. He wanted to believe that love still lived beneath her cold politeness. Only one person seemed to notice what was really happening: Adesewa, the young housemaid from Oyo. She came quietly into the household 6 months earlier, humble and hard-working. She never gossiped, never looked anyone in the eye for too long, but there was something about her, a stillness that made even the walls seem to listen when she spoke. One night, while washing dishes, she paused, eyes distant, hands trembling. She saw something, a flash of red lights, screaming brakes, and a car rolling into darkness. She woke before dawn, heart pounding, and went straight to the master's door. "Sir," she whispered, "please, don't travel today." Darlington, half asleep, chuckled. "Adesewa, are you dreaming again?" She nodded, tears on her cheeks. "Yes, sir. I saw danger on your road." He hesitated, not wanting to dismiss her, but reason told him it was superstition. Still, something about her trembling voice made him uneasy. Against habit, he postponed the trip. That afternoon, news broke across radio and TV. A car identical to his had crashed along the Lagos-Ibadan expressway. His driver, who'd taken the car for servicing, died instantly. Darlington dropped his glass. He could barely breathe. For the first time, fear and gratitude collided in his chest. That night, he stared at Adesewa as she quietly arranged dinner. She avoided his gaze, whispering prayers. From that day, he began to wonder who she really was, a maid or a messenger. Weeks passed. Darlington's trust in Adesewa grew silently. She never asked for favors, never tried to impress him. But her words carried weight. One humid Wednesday morning, she approached him again, hands clasped nervously. "Sir, please," she said, "don't sign any document this week. I dreamt your signature will destroy everything." He frowned. He was expecting Felix, his childhood friend and business partner, to finalize a multi-million-dollar project in Dubai. Felix had been by his side since their days as street vendors. Together, they built Osei Holdings from scrap to empire. "You think Felix will harm me?" Darlington asked, half amused. "Sir, I didn't say so," she replied softly. "But I saw you sitting alone in an empty office. Everything gone, everyone gone." That night, Darlington couldn't sleep. Felix's words earlier that day replayed in his mind. "Sign this week, brother, before the investors change their mind." The urgency suddenly felt wrong. The next morning, Darlington secretly called his accountant, Mr. Adewale, a quiet man who owed him loyalty. "Check every transaction tied to this Dubai project," he said. "I want answers." By evening, Adewale returned pale, clutching a folder. "Sir, it's worse than you think. Felix has been moving funds into offshore accounts. Millions. He even created shell companies in your name." Darlington's body went cold. Every heartbeat felt like thunder. The betrayal stung deeper because it came from someone he once called brother. He said nothing to Felix. He wanted him to think all was well. At home, he pretended to smile, but Clara noticed the difference. She asked what was wrong, her tone almost concerned. But when Adesewa entered with tea, Clara's eyes hardened. She had grown increasingly hostile toward the maid, snapping at her for the smallest mistakes, insisting she was too confident for a servant. Darlington watched quietly. He didn't understand why jealousy burned in Clara's eyes every time Adesewa spoke. He was unaware that Felix had already poisoned her mind. "That girl is manipulating your husband," Felix had told her. "She wants him to trust her so she can take your place." And because Clara's heart was already half corrupted by greed, she believed him. One Saturday night, after hosting a charity gala, Clara pretended to be exhausted. "I'll spend the night at the spa," she said casually. Darlington nodded, pretending not to notice her nervousness, but something in her tone rang false. He waited until she left, then followed quietly in another car. The road led not to a spa, but to a private hotel downtown, one he used to visit for business retreats. He parked across the street, watching through the rain-speckled glass. Moments later, a black Lexus pulled up, and Felix stepped out. Darlington's heart sank. He wanted to turn away, to unsee what he saw, but curiosity chained him to pain. He climbed the stairwell quietly until he reached the second floor. Room 207. He heard laughter, whispers, then silence. Through a narrow gap in the curtain, the truth unfolded, his wife and his best friend in each other's arms. At dawn, Darlington made his move. He visited his lawyers and quietly prepared documents to dissolve the partnership. He arranged a board meeting, inviting Felix and every top shareholder. When they arrived, smiling and unsuspecting, he slid a file across the table. "Before we proceed," he said calmly, "I want everyone to see what loyalty looks like." Inside were copies of bank transfers, property deeds, and email chains linking Felix to the theft. The room went silent. Felix stammered, "Brother, I can explain." "Don't call me brother," Darlington interrupted. "You sold that word for dollars." Security escorted Felix out while the others sat frozen. By noon, Darlington had also filed for divorce. When Clara received the papers, she exploded with rage. "You think you can throw me away after everything?" she shouted. "Everything?" he repeated, voice low. "You mean lies, deceit, betrayal?" she sneered. "You think I ever loved you? You were just a step to the life I deserved." Her words sliced through him, but instead of anger, he felt release. "Then enjoy that life," he said quietly, turning away. That night, the mansion fell silent. No music, no laughter, only the whisper of Adesewa sweeping the marble floors. A week later, Darlington found her packing. "Where are you going?" he asked. She smiled faintly. "Sir, my work here is done." "Done? Your family now?" he protested. She shook her head. "No, sir. I was sent to save you from blindness. Now you can see clearly." "Who sent you?" he asked. She looked upward. "The one who never sleeps." He wanted to hold her hand, to thank her properly, but she only bowed and walked away. The next morning, her room was empty, uniform folded, Bible on the pillow, a note that read, "Guard your heart, for it is the gate to your destiny." Months turned into seasons. The mansion, once filled with deceit, now echoed with quiet hope. Darlington rebuilt OC Holdings from the ground up, this time with honesty as the foundation. He launched scholarships for underprivileged students, health outreaches, and a trust for widows, calling it the Adesewa Foundation. When journalists asked why, he smiled. Because some angels walk among us, dressed as servants. People thought it was just a metaphor, but he meant every word. He changed, too. The arrogance of wealth melted away, replaced by gratitude. He began attending morning prayers not to impress anyone, but to remember the day a housemaid's dream saved his life. One Sunday, during a charity event, he met a schoolteacher named Azin. Humble, kind, nothing like the world he once chased. She didn't care about his wealth. She cared about his peace. For the first time in years, Darlington laughed without bitterness. When he eventually remarried, the ceremony was simple. No gold-plated tables, no cameras. Just love, clean and quiet. For a while, peace truly lived in Darlington's mansion. Izin brought laughter that warmed the marble halls once chilled by betrayal. Her voice filled the air each morning with hymns, her hands gentle as she placed breakfast before her husband. When she gave birth to twin girls Janet and Jane, Darlington wept openly for the first time in years. Double grace, the pastor had said at their naming ceremony, and Darlington believed it. He built a new wing in the mansion, not for luxury, but for love. The twins became his new universe. Their giggles echoed through the halls, their tiny hands clutching his fingers as they learned to walk. For a man who once measured life by profit and power, he now measured it by the sound of his daughter's laughter. But peace, as he'd learned, is often tested by the ghosts of the past. It was a bright Sunday afternoon. The family had just returned from church. Ezina wore a simple white gown that fluttered in the breeze as she lifted one of the twins from the car. The security guard barely noticed the woman who slipped through the side gate, Clara, veiled in a scarf, her eyes wild with fury and regret. "Darlington!" she shouted, her voice trembling between rage and heartbreak. "You took everything from me!" Darlington froze. Izine turned, shielding the children instinctively. The gun went off before anyone could move. The sound split the calm air like thunder. Izina fell, clutching her side, the white of her gown blooming red. The guards rushed forward, tackling Clara as she screamed incoherently, "He was mine! He was mine!" Darlington knelt beside his wife, his hands shaking, pressing the wound, whispering, "Stay with me, please, stay with me." She touched his face weakly, whispering, "Love them. For me." Her eyes softened, and then silence. The day that had begun in sunlight ended in shadows. The trial was swift. Clara showed no remorse, her beauty replaced by bitterness. The evidence was undeniable and the court's verdict was final. Death by hanging. The news spread across Nigeria like wildfire. Some pitied her, others called it justice, but Darlington did not attend the execution. He had forgiven her even if the world could not. Instead, he sat at home that morning, holding his daughters close as the sunrise painted their faces gold. "We will not live in hatred," he whispered. "We will live in love." Years passed. The twins grew under his care, bright, compassionate, and wise beyond their years. Darlington became both father and mother, telling them bedtime stories about angels who once walked among men. Every night before sleep, they would pray together. "Thank you, Lord, for Mama Ezin and Auntie Adesewa." The mansion no longer echoed with sorrow, but with music, laughter, and peace. The foundation flourished. Schools, hospitals, and orphan homes rose under the banner of the Adesewa Foundation, guided by the memory of two women who had changed his life forever. One evening, standing by the balcony where he used to brood alone, Darlington looked at the sunset and whispered, "You were right, Adesewa. The heart truly is the gate to destiny." He smiled as his daughters ran to him, calling, "Daddy!" And he lifted them both in his arms, their laughter carrying into the evening sky. For the first time, he wasn't haunted by the past. He was at peace with it. And for the rest of his life, Darlington Osei lived not as the billionaire the world admired, but as the man two angels had saved. The end. Hope you enjoyed the story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video for more interesting and intriguing story. See you on the next one.